as quickly as possible. But I hope you understand what I say. If I don't, please, I'll be welcoming you to ask questions. All right. So I'm going to start by telling you a little bit about what innovation is. The different types of innovation. I'll focus on 2 types of innovation. Then I'll talk about what we should expect in the future and end by giving some suggestions as to what you should be doing right now to prepare for that future. I hope that's okay. Okay, good. So let's start. Innovation is basically taking information and then using your imagination, your initiative, your creativity to use that information in order to apply to some resource that you have and present solutions to problems with that in different ways. Is that okay? If you ask me to define it, I'll tell you in a different way, but it's still the same. All right. So we are going to take information, right? We are going to apply our imagination, our initiative, everything we have that makes us unique to that information in order to use that information to work on something that we already have, that's our resource, in order to present a solution or solutions to different types of problems. All right, so obviously there are different types of innovation. The first type, which we are mostly used to, is the technological innovation. So people like talking about the science fiction, the things that are going to happen in the future. I think that's what you were here to listen to me talk about. But no, I won't do too much of that. I would rather talk about the types of things we can use innovation to address in the future. So that's technological innovation. The people that deal with technological innovation will be using information that is already present now in order to develop technologies, products, processes, systems to solve problems, right? So you identify a problem, you use information that is already available, could be scientific information usually, and then you come up with a product to address that problem. Okay, that's technological innovation. You can also have social innovation. Social innovation is when you again take information, there is a problem about the way people are doing certain things. So you may see a political threat or economic threat out there, but then you get information to be able to use that information in interesting ways to address this threat that you have seen, right? So you may be thinking of how to change people's minds so that they think in a different way in order to avert some problem in the future. You understand? Okay, so there are different types of innovation. And you will all be involved in some kind of innovation. I know that from what I've seen you doing, I am impressed with what you are doing already. Okay, so what can we expect in the future? The future is going to be a very interesting place. There are some things we can predict from what we already know today, information we already have today. So we know for a fact that the population of the world is growing, right? Okay. So we'll have many more people than we already have right now. I was listening to the presentation on the beaches. If the people there are already polluting our beaches this much, you can imagine what will happen in the future when there are more people, right? Okay, so some of the things that we see, some of the problems that we see today are going to be even worse in the future if we don't do anything about it. So we're going to need innovators to think of ways in which we are going to address some of these problems in the future. Now, at the same time that the population is increasing, we also have people living longer. In the past, people used to die at very young ages. Now, because of improvements in healthcare, people are living longer and longer. So now we are going to have the problems of old age, right? So you are living longer. As you live longer, the human body is not changing that fast. Evolution is not taking place that fast, right? So things like the incidence of certain diseases, like cancers, you have more people that are going to be diagnosed in the future. we're going to need innovators to come up with ideas to solve such problems. Are you seeing where I'm going? Okay, I'm not supposed to talk for long, so I won't spend too much time going into other ways in which things are changing. But even our mindsets are also changing. Now we want solutions to problems that are customized for us, right? If there's a solution to a problem, if we want to do something, we want to do it in our own special way. So we want the technologies or the solutions of the future to address our specific needs. Okay, so we want things to be easier, smarter. This is how we are thinking. So now for me, for example, my calendar, I'm using the Google Calendar on my phone, right? I want that thing to remind me when I have something to do next. What does that do for us? It makes life convenient, right? You don't have to remember so many things. But that at the same time is also creating a problem, because now we get older, and because we don't use our brain so much, we now have to start doing exercises, brain exercises, so that we don't suffer from dementia, like forgetfulness and other pathological conditions associated with that, right? Okay, so as things are improving and we are expecting more and more, we also create more and more problems for ourselves. So yes, things are going to be very interesting in the future, but the interesting things are also going to come with challenges that need to be solved. Okay, so if you decide to be an innovator, so you see, I started with the definition of innovation, right? I said you take information. Another thing that's going to happen in the future is that information is going to be available. Even now, a lot of information is available. One young lady here I met today, where is she? Ruth. It's Ruth there, yes. She was telling me she wants to be like me. I told her, no, she has to be better than me. Because when I was growing up, to get the information Ruth can get today, I had to go through a lot of trouble. But now you have information at your fingertips, don't you? So that is one thing. You need to take information, but information is going to be more readily available. But of course, we're going to need, because the problems are going to be different, we're going to need more information. So we are going to need the people who are creating information. Those are the scientists, right? Yes. So we're going to need the people who are creating information. Like some of you have been able to get information by doing experiments. So the people who are creating information, and now when the information is created here in Ghana, it is accessible to somebody else, anywhere else in the world. Have you seen how the thing is going? That means you may create the information, but it may not completely belong to you. If you came up with a new idea, if you did not take steps to protect that idea, somebody may take it from you. You understand? So we are also going to need systems that protect our ideas for us. So that has to do with intellectual property rights. Have you heard of that before? Yes. Great. You're very advanced, you see. At your age, I didn't know about that. All right. So we're going to have systems that protect our ideas so that we can gain or benefit from those ideas. Some of you are going to have to be part of the process of developing these systems. Okay. So now, ideas are not the preserve of a few, right? So you take information, you apply your ideas and your initiative and your creativity to come up with a solution to a problem. So as you are sitting here with your problems, not every problem is interesting or important to anyone. To everyone, right? Okay, there are some problems that are your own problems. Those ones, nobody will come here to come and solve for you. You have to come up with the solutions to those problems. But there are also other problems that are global in nature because we move around a lot, don't we? So again, in the future, it is going to be even easier to move around, and the problems that affect one part of the world can easily be transferred to another part. One group showed the Zika baby. Very sad, isn't it? But it is possible to transmit such things from one part of the world to the other part. And that means if a problem has developed in one part of the world, the solution may not be sought only from where it started, but from all over the world, right? Okay. So you could sit here in Ghana and have great ideas to apply to information, to come up with solutions, interesting solutions and effective solutions and relevant solutions to these problems elsewhere. I have my students, not him though, who sometimes tell me that without the big money they can't do anything because we don't have the resources in Ghana. How much does it cost to have good ideas? Does it cost a lot if you are willing to have an open mind? No, it doesn't. So you could be the owner of some great idea to solve a problem, maybe not even in your local environment, but in the world. Okay, so then in the future, what else? Ability to work with other people that are elsewhere. And you're already doing that. These days you are on Facebook and all those things, aren't you? But you may not be using those outlets for solving really problems. You are just entertaining yourselves and wasting time, right? In the future, you should be able to harness that ability to work with people across geographical boundaries. So you could be here thinking of a problem to solve, and you are working with somebody in Alaska, wherever, Serbia, to solve that problem. Are you seeing what our world is going to look like? Okay, as I said, I don't need to talk too much. We can continue this discussion later. But now let me move to what you should be doing there. Knowing some of these things that are going to be happening in the future. How do you position yourself to be part of it? This is where your education is very important. You are now in school, aren't you? So, what are some of the things that you can do to make yourself a part of this innovation drive to solve problems that are relevant, that are realistic, that are customized to the people that need solutions? Study hard. By studying hard, you will have the sound basis. If it is scientific and technological innovation you need to be involved in the future, you should be a good science student right now. Understand what science is capable of doing for you, what a finding. Let's say you go out and do an experiment, what does that mean? And how can you use that result to do something? If you have that sound knowledge, first is to get the knowledge. Once you have the knowledge, then you can use that knowledge for something, right? But if you don't understand what you are studying, it is very hard to get something useful out of it, right? So study hard, that's the first point. Next thing is that it's not enough what you are doing in the classroom, which is why I'm very proud to see all of you here, because these activities you have been doing, what you are presenting, that was something outside of regular class, wasn't it? So continue by exposing yourself to different activities, different ideas. That is how you build your creativity and initiative. If you've never had experience with something, how can you come up with some idea? So when you have had different experiences, then you can bring those different experiences to make you unique in trying to think of new ideas to solve the problems that are going to be confronting you and all of us, right? Okay, so expose yourself to new ideas. Learn how to get information. After all, your starting point, remember, in being an innovator is to have information. So how do you obtain information? Make that part of your education. Learn to work with other people, because the solutions to the problems do not come from one place. So learn to work with other people, your classmates, and people who are even far away from where you live. Create a network of people you can bounce ideas off of. Okay. and have an open mind. Have an open mind. Be ready to have new experiences, to think of problems in different ways so that your solutions can truly be innovative. All right, I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to give you an opportunity to ask your questions. But thank you very much for listening to me. Any burning questions? I kept my 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
No. Wasn't that clear or it was that bad, like my exams? All right. I'll be around so we can talk later. Oh, somebody has a question over there.
How do you do it before discussion?
Okay. The young man wants to know how to deal with people that discourage you. First thing is to recognize that there are many different types of people in the world. Many different types of people in the world. Everybody and their own characteristic. There are people who are discouragers. Yes, that is what makes them happy. When they discourage someone, then they feel happy. But you don't need to live up to the standard of a discourager. Okay? If you have a dream and you want to achieve that dream, write it down. Think of different steps that you may take towards your dream so that you have confidence in yourself to be able to achieve that dream. When the discourager comes along, assess what they are telling you against what you are doing. Have confidence in yourself so that there are certain things that you get in one ear, immediately out the other. If you are listening to the opinion of everybody in order to live your life, you will live a very unfulfilled life. So the way to deal with it is to have some confidence in yourself so that when you hear discouragement, you will be able to assess that information you are getting appropriately and take the right steps so that you don't get discouraged. It doesn't mean don't take advice. That's why I tell you, you must assess the information you are receiving in order to compare to what steps you are taking to make sure that you are on the right path and not listen to any negative things.
Thank you so much. It's common knowledge that girls normally shy away from doing science. This notion has been with us for a very long time. So many measures have been put in place to address the problem. So, are we making progress? Is the idea changing? Are girls encouraged to do science these days?
Things are improving, but not enough. Okay? They are improving. In the past, what you would see was even at the lower levels, you would not find many girls in school or even doing well. Now you go to the primary schools, speech and prize giving days, you'll be amazed. The girls are the ones winning the prizes. Many of them, right? So the girls are doing well, but there is something that happens. You know, as you move up the educational ladder, we lose more and more. And by the time you reach even academia, like where I am, there are fewer and fewer. So the problem is still there, although it's improving. Okay. One way of dealing with the problem is to try to understand it. And so there are a lot of studies going on to find out why the girls are not reaching their potential and so on. I am hoping that once we understand these things will improve further. So we have not reached where we need to go, but there are several different things at play. One of them had to do with the way in which we present science to our students, we simply turn people off. So we see the young ladies here, saw the groups, you saw the groups that were presenting, a lot of young ladies. What has been shown is that the young ladies like to feel like they are making an impact in their world, right? So you go to, if a science class was organized like what they did, go out, find a problem, do something about it, the girls might be interested in doing that because they feel that they will have the recommendations or something to make an impact in their society. But traditionally, what happens in our classrooms, we sit there and we are bombarded by information, right? This is how it is. Take it like that. You don't see much application. And so the interest level goes down. So we can change certain things to improve the myth and the way we teach the science to make it more appealing to different groups of people.
Last question.
Thank you very much, Prof. Yes, innovation. So assuming we innovate, or let me say, we know that though Ghana may not be characterized as a country that has so much innovation, there is some innovation. But between the scientists and policymakers or those who have to make that innovation available to the whole populace, where are we getting it wrong? Or how do we let the connection go through so that our innovations will get out there for Ghanaians to enjoy? Thank you.
Okay, so this has to do with the disconnect between the innovators and the policymakers who will then take up the innovation and make it available. It's a problem. It's a serious problem. Again, it has to do with our mindset when it comes to education. So the people that want to be in government and be policymakers, they are trained in certain places. They are the ones that go to the law schools. They are the ones that do the general arts. And then there's this idea that if you are interested in being an innovator, go and do science and stay in your lab. And there is no discussion between the two groups, okay? So what happens is the scientists will do their own thing. They have a product which may be of use to other people, but then because there is no interaction, the politicians and the policymakers have no idea that this is even available. Okay. What has to happen is more of some programs like the GA Scientific, what they have been doing, right? So to present a bigger view of what the scientists are doing, create opportunities for these things to be known. I understand that even the politicians are supposed to have advisors, scientific advisors. I don't know whether they don't see the need or we also don't approach them. It is both ways, isn't it? So there has to be better dialogue. How do we get trained so that we interact more? So some of the things we have been thinking about in my own small way, I have different projects. I teach engineering students. I teach them design, so they are supposed to come up with new ideas. Now, the thing is, how do I get these things outside of my office? Because I have all kinds of prototypes sitting in my office, but they don't go anywhere. So, first thing is to try and speak to people who might be interested in commercializing. I am at the early stages, the ideas, I like the ideas. By the time something has crystallized into something, I've lost interest. So I cannot be expected to continue the process. So how do I find partners who want to continue with this? And we are looking for ways of doing that. How do I even bring on board maybe somebody studying development economics onto one project, or a marketing person onto that one project? So we identify the problem together and then come up with a solution, and then somebody carries it on. We need to do more of such interdisciplinary projects around education, even in our schools. That's one way to start that. All right.
Well, that was very, very, very interesting and very informative. What I picked from Dr. Koopman was, one, it's important for us to update ourselves with knowledge. If you don't have the current cutting-edge knowledge, you may not be able to properly innovate. You may end up solving a problem that has already been solved. Two, we need to work with each other, effective partnerships and networks in order to be effective as innovators. And three, we must have the courage and conviction and readiness to make a difference in our communities. So that's very good. Another round of applause to Dr. Koopman, whose very deep questions have helped me to challenge myself the more and break boundaries and do a lot of things along the way. Questions were not so bad. Yes, I think it's now time for us to, I think according to the program, we are supposed to be watching a second video on how far we've gone with the SHIP project, but then we'd rather move ahead with the rest of the presentations, and then when we are done, whilst the judges are collecting the scores, then we can watch the video. So quickly, I would like to invite the next team, which is the Scholars of Nativity. Scholars of Nativity are also having a presentation that borders on air quality. And the title is, You Are What You Breathe. So let's see.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Vida Abe, a member of the Scholars of Nativity from the La Nativity Presbyterian School. I'm here to give you an introduction of our project. The topic of our project is solutions to environmental problems, and our main focus is on air pollution. The reason why we are focusing on air pollution is because it's the main problem in the La community. Therefore, we are working towards reducing it through public education. Some of my colleagues will come and perform a drama to educate you more on the causes, effects, and solutions to air pollution. So please, I want you to stay glued to your seats and enjoy the drama. Thank you.
Be a baby, then I'm at school. Quabani be a fair woman. Can be ne. I'm a bad baby shimbo. I'm bad on my fear. Mini, can you I don't back to Boshiona. Boba Mishkanika on board. I see you can blow at China Biane. When I be a baby, then I'm at school. If you're full, no one can know by the back bay. Yabana on my face.
Hey, good afternoon, students. How are you? What's your name?
My name is Joshua.
What's your name? My name is Dr. Molaj from the EPA, and I have a project, and it's about air pollution. You can see on the flyers. You can see the causes, effects, and the solutions. Do you know that air pollution causes global warming?
Global warming.
You mean you don't know?
No.
But take your pencil, let me define it for you. Global warming is the process whereby the temperature of the atmosphere increases. So I'll give you some of the flyers and give it to your friends. Yeah. Then okay, then see you another day. Okay, see you.
Oh, I mean.
This is a Ghana produced food.
My room block from the school and class too. Oh, my God, they're wet.
This is a Ghana produced food. This is the effect it can cause to matter about 2 years that this the ways of preventing it. You should just try and then resist and then contribute this money and buy a efficient and electric car.
Yes, guy. Find 20 things in the minute.
You should just give him the flyer so that he'll go away for more information.
When you get your man, you bluff around. Oh, yeah, crashing. Here I don't.
What information do you are shouting?
You see what I'm seeing? Seeing it all. As you know that. Yes, boss.
No, what are you doing?
This one, the electricity.
Oh, I don't like it.
Oh, no, I'll give it to you. But I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. Big sis, yeah, boy.
Yes, I never be a friend. Never more than that.
If I never, all I'm looking for, Nibi kumeni wo ba no kefi ni na kan la suwe kan na nibi efen ba pa o find e ba chon ibi no ba no fi.
This is old lady burning rubbish, and then the smoke that comes out from it spreads to the environment. That causes air pollution.
O find e ga yan fun ni le na yo mo bo ni mi shadow ni la suwe mi je ni e ha me ri.
This is the effect that it can cause to those who are in nursing. It can lead to respiratory diseases such as asthma, tuberculosis, lung cancer, and etc.
O find e ga yi like kumeni ba ni hanji asthma no le no feel short na ko ka anu to mo fi.
And ways of preventing all this is to start giving the rubbish to the rubbish collectors so that you keep the environment clean.
Oh, fine. You got a she. Maybe you could no by no fit you up what doing now. All I be about coming people.
Just stop your door, give her the flyer so that she will read. It is written in different languages.
You will get a mahabu. Only Bokan in Alma and you must want this one.
You're very right. Hey, it was smart, but can't be a tuana me wa minipo and a tway. Benny Trunk and her may I lie. I stand on number came me and care fair mona. I'm a channel if you know.
Thank you for your time and patience. I hope you've enjoyed the drama and also learned something from it. I entreat you to send this information to your families, friends, and neighbors as well, in order for us to build and develop a better country. Thank you.
Your nation demands your devotion. Let us all unite to uphold her and make her great and strong. We are all involved. We are all involved. We are all involved in building a motherland.
So, very creative presentation. So I see, I was looking at your poster earlier, and I noticed you guys developed drama. Did you guys perform this for your community members?
Please, we only did it in the school.
Okay, and when you did it in the school, did you survey to see what impact your play had on your fellow students?
Yes, please.
And please, what were the results?
Some of them decided to educate other people as we told them. And they said they will also educate people they know who have been doing that thing. Especially the people in their communities who's been burning rubbish instead of selling it to the rubbish communities.
What was your sample size? How many students did you perform for?
The school.
How many students are in your school?
450 something.
And how many did you talk to after your presentation? What was the number?
Our classmates.
How many?
52.
52. So your sample size was 52 out of 1,200, correct? 4 out of 4.
What is the problem you identified?
We identified bush burning of rubbish in the open and from cars.
And your solution to solving this?
People who've been burning rubbish, instead of burning the rubbish, they can just gather it and give it to the rubbish collectors. And the fuel from cars, the government can just provide public transport in order to reduce the vehicles on the road.
So, you wanted to answer? Give it to me.
Something to what she said.
Yeah.
That's the not the fumes from car, the burning of the rubbish. I heard on the radio that they will be giving a free basin or bowl to people, and they will take 20 Ghana from you, and every month after you finish collecting your rubbish, they will come and take it free from you.
Okay, so my question is, what is the group doing to intervene in this activity that is polluting the environment? That is what I wanted to know. Are you acting drama to people to educate them, or what?
Yes, we are acting drama to educate them.
You are trying to prevent people from burning rubbish so that you don't produce too much, maybe those things in the atmosphere. What happens to the rubbish after they have been collected? Do you get to find out? Don't they go end up being bent at some sites so that it becomes more? What happens to the rubbish when it has been collected? Or if we are going to solve the problem by just collecting and sending it somewhere, you should know what happens to it there.
The rubbish collected are sometimes recycled to produce fertilizers.
Sometimes.
So, I want to find out, you are saying that the rubbish will be recycled. Are you the one going to recycle it, or you're going to be the middleman between those who gather the rubbish and then those who collect it? Or, because I don't see the link in there. You are the one trying to educate people about the dangers of burning rubbish. So the solution that you are bringing as part of your education is what we are looking for.
We try to consult our assemblyman so that he will help us to find people who recycle it so that we recycle.
Yeah, I'm done with my question. Thank you.
Okay, we would like to thank you very much for your drama. Please give them a round of applause. And so we are seeing a variety of formats here, not just slide presentations, but a dramatic performance on how to influence public perception as far as proper practices around the environment is concerned. I think this ties in with what Dr. Kopman was saying about social innovation. So we are developing innovative communication tools and methods that we can use to reach the public. And so I think all we have to do is to keep, improving on our message and then the style that we use. We'll go to the next group. They are going to give us a presentation on the effect of carbon cycle disruptions. Hey, this one there is serious. Effect of carbon cycle disruptions. And the group is appropriately called the Sparkling Stars of Science. So please give them a big round of applause and thank you. So we have some rectangular object being brought here. And you have to go 360 degrees before you can take it into the desk. Put it down, then shift the chair a little bit. It's all part of the presentation. Cool, and they are from Garrison Primary.
Good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Quay Marilyn is my name, and my colleague is Ebenezer. We are pupils of Garrison Basic Schools and representatives of the Sparkling Stars of Science. Our project is about greenhouse gases and its effects. But before we talk about that, let's talk about the carbon cycle, which plays a major role in it. The carbon cycle is the rotation and circulation of carbon in the atmosphere and back again. There are 4 major processes involved in it. For example, photosynthesis, respiration, decomposition, and burning or combustion. Too much carbon in the air, or activities that we do, for example, burning bushes, exhaust pipe from cars, from pipes, smoke from pipes, then smoke from factories also cause the disruption of the carbon cycle. And when there is excessive carbon in the atmosphere, it causes greenhouse effects. So we are coming to greenhouse effect. Therefore, greenhouse effect is the gradual warming up of the earth due to the amount in the increase of carbon or greenhouse gases in the air. Greenhouse gases are the gases which keep the earth warm and protect the earth from being frozen. So when they are too much, it makes the earth very hot. We chose this topic because we have observed its effect on us. Some of the effects on us are, like, we have 2 hot weathers, and Harmattan comes very early nowadays. We've observed that too. And that some strange diseases have been killing people every year. For example, COPD, that is chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases. These diseases take place when you can't breathe well. The pathway where you are breathing is obstructed, is blocked. So when you are breathing, you find it hard to breathe. So for the solution, I hand it over to my colleague to help us and tell us about the main project and the solution.
Thank you, Quay Marilyn. We knew that we couldn't tell people to stop driving or stop cooking, because if people drive, the fumes from the exhaust pipe also comes and forms the carbon cycle. So we had a solution, and that solution was for the factory. And right now I'm going to demonstrate how it's going to help us. I'm going to put this oil on this white cloth so that it will be able to trap the dust particles that we are going to burn, so that good air will come out of it. Then secondly, I'm going to burn the rubbish that is inside the factory. So now we are going to wait for some time so that when the fumes evaporate, they'll turn into good air.
Is the base metal?
Yes.
Okay, she does it.
you see that there is no fumes coming out from this place because of the filter. But if I remove it, it comes out. So that is why this filter is there. And I can say that we can improve on our filters. We can make Ghana a better place by making good filters and putting them on chimneys. Thank you.
I'm just obviously coming to check, make sure the fire is out, so so the judges can do their thing. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So excellent presentation. I love your mock environment here. It's very nice. So I just want to check, did you see how many factories in Ghana were using filters, or if any factories in Ghana are currently using filters?
No, please.
So how did you decide that factories weren't using filters in Ghana?
Yes, some of them, but I've not seen those who have been using the filters.
I saw smoke coming from the other side. When you put the filter on it, smoke was coming out of the other side.
Because there were spaces there. Maybe the part that we are supposed to close, they didn't do it well. So maybe when we closed it, there were small spaces there. So the air came out from that part.
So we are not going to have a situation where smoke is going to be trapped inside the factory and they will get COPD, like you said.
No, please.
It won't happen.
Yes.
What showed that there was air coming out actually, and like my colleague said, the air was there. What you put there was not actually trapping the air inside, but it was being filtered and coming out clean. What shoes? Because I didn't see anything like that.
Please, the question again.
You put a filter on the chimney and you are claiming that the air, what was burning inside, the smoke was coming, but the filter was removing the particles. That is why we were not seeing. What shows that air was actually coming out? Because when you removed the filter, we saw it was coming. But how do we know it was coming clean when the filter is there?
You could know that it was coming clean when there were no particles coming out or there were no fumes coming out because you can't see air.
Yeah, so that is why you should show me why you are saying air was coming, because I didn't see it. Did you see it coming? So why are you saying it came? What makes you think that the smoke was not trapped inside? That is what I'm asking. You are claiming the smoke was not trapped inside. How do you know? You didn't go that far.
Can I?
Okay. Can you talked about the break in the carbon cycle. What is the effect? I didn't get that one. clearly. When there is a break in that carbon cycle, what happens? And what is the effect on us? Because the diseases you were mentioning, I've not seen them clearly. What other effects are we seeing?
During my part, I also said that we've been observing hot weather because there's too much carbon in the air. And another effect too is that Harmattan comes earlier than it's supposed to come. So that's the effect.
What makes the Harmattan come early because of the excess gas? Because when there's much gas, it causes greenhouse effect. When there are much greenhouse gases, they cause greenhouse effect. So why we are doing our experiment is because we want to minimize greenhouse effect. That's why we did this experiment.
Thank you once again for your project. I mean, you demonstrated only for the factory. Do you have any solution for the automobile industry as well?
For what we worked on, it was only for maybe in the homes, when you burn, like in the chimneys, the smoke that comes out. We're working on the filters that will seize bad air from going into the atmosphere and causing greenhouse effects.
So that means that in the future, before you start thinking about automobile, I mean cars. Thank you. I mean, it's a great project. We look working together in the future. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your project. So we have solutions for the home and for industries. In the next phase, after we've scaled, we'll be looking into developing new solutions for the automobile as well. Yeah, very, very important. Now, we'll go ahead to